Welcome to Fast Five, where in this case our two panelists talk about 5 topics in 7 short minutes. Ron, Justin Hardings, former Board of Education member for Washington County, local Washington County guy, was just elected as president of the Maryland State Board of Education. What does that mean for us?
You know, at 4:15, I was up at Western Enterprise Fire Company. Governor Hogan was there, and a couple of us were asked to be there this afternoon. Got to talking to Wayne Ridenauer, former president of the school board, and he was talking, you know, what a marvelous choice it was for the governor to select Justin Hardings, and you know his position in life, his 3 children that he has, his 8 years on the school board, and what an outstanding individual he is to represent not just Washington County but education at a statewide level. And I was involved in something back a couple years ago with a young lady called Quinn Wondolowski from Smithburg High School. And Quinn ran for the position, I worked with her to get the position of serving on that board as the student representative of all students in the state of Maryland. So I know a lot about what it is. That's a totally appointed board,
Right.
along with an appointed school board member or appointed member of the kids from student right. Member, and for Justin Hardings to be there and to be elected president of that organization after a year and a half on the board says a lot for him. Says a lot for the voters and the people of Washington County that put him into office, and for the job that he did, that the governor could look at him and say, here's a man that I can see serving on the Maryland State Board of Education, and picked him. I think it's a feather in our hat, Justin Hardings and his family's hat, and kudos to the State Board of Education, the governor, and the whole state of Maryland will benefit.
For the first time in a long time, Ron, I have not one disagreement with what you said there and would echo your comments. Issue number 2, United Way cites volunteer shortage. What about that one?
It's coming for a long time with the United Way. The United Way is an organization that's been around for a long time. Back in the 60s, when I was a young worker at MAC, MAC was very much involved in the United Way. The head of the Boy Scouts, Al Schaefer, was really involved in the United Way. The United Way did so many good things.
And they still do very good things.
But as time goes, these older organizations begin to dwindle in popularity, and finding people that can take the time off of work to be involved. You don't have those major corporate sponsors that you used to have. Citibank was really involved. MAC was really involved.
And I think they're still involved.
Well, but they're involved, but that was like a way of life then. I mean, you had somebody assigned to it.
Yeah.
It was totally different than the way it is now.
Ron, would you agree that this volunteer shortage that the United Way is seeing is really indicative of a larger problem, and as you said, other older organizations such as service clubs, Rotary Club, Kiwanis Club, all of those clubs are hurting for members, or at least many
How
of them
about the Legions?
Well, I can't speak to the
Legions. Legions are way, way down. Legions, VFWs, all of those service organizations. How about your fire companies?
Well,
the volunteers too, the volunteers,
absolutely.
It's all volunteers. And when you get into, it's so many people at now that's there after money.
Is that a generational thing, do you think?
I think there's far too many nonprofits around, to be honest with you. I think the debate has to happen on nonprofits. There's so many nonprofits and there's so many people that they could consolidate and work things together that you wouldn't have to have as many executive directors as you have.
And we don't need to do the nonprofits anymore, because we just open up a GoFundMe page and get the money for whatever it is we need, right?
You can, yes.
So.
And it's too many people that's into the nonprofits that don't need to be there.
Mason-Dixon Dragway, it's not just for drag racing anymore. A monoplane, actually a pretty rare monoplane, ran out of gas and was fortunate enough to be able to land on the Mason-Dixon Dragway. Did you read that story?
I did. You know what's neat? I grew up a mile and a quarter from the drag strip. And we used to race a lot when we were young guys around. We would hang out at Richardson's and go race on the Marsh Pike or Interstate 81 or different places. But every once in a while, we would wind up driving out the dual highway, pulling in across from the highway drive-in, and sneaking onto the track. So now it's found another use, and that use is a temporary airport landing.
And apparently this was not the first plane that landed at the Mason-Dixon drag strip. And you know, it's nice that that resource, not that I want to see it used for that purpose, but it's nice, you know, that could have ended badly.
It wasn't when Eisenhower designed the interstate highway network that they planned that interstate highways could be used as runways during wartime to move
well, I don't know about that, but I think there was planned, from what I understand, to make them wide enough that they could act as a runway. I'm not sure what the purpose was, whether it was emergency
Just
landings.
be careful of an overhead bridge, right?
Right, exactly. And I wouldn't want to try it on I-81 or 270 at this point. But anyway. All right, Chick-fil-A has a baby born in their bathroom. And they offer the kid a job in 14 years and food for life. That's not a bad deal, Ron.
You know what was... I would like them to find the person that'll open the door for those folks to go into Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A was closed. Chick-fil-A wasn't open. And they banged on the door and somebody let them come in. Mm-hmm. Can you see the amount of people that would say, oh, you're not coming in,
and there is another reason why Chick-fil-A is so wildly successful, because it's about their culture.
There you go. And it worked out well, and they had the youngster in the bathroom, and man, what a thing. From 14 years for life, I think it's a franchise of their choice that they get to go. So
yeah, that's not a bad deal.
You know what'll happen someday? That kid will wind up having owning a Chick-fil-A franchise. Do they franchise them? I don't even know.
Yeah, absolutely they do. Yeah. I was just thinking if that would have been, if I would have thought of that back in my childbearing years, I think there's a couple of restaurants in town that I might have chosen to go have my kid at if that deal would have been around. Schmuckelstube among others.
I can't wait till he gets his new place done, and we'll have to do a remote from there sometime so we can have dinner there.
Okay, all right, and here is the WTF segment for the week. Man arrested after allegedly working out naked at Planet Fitness. And his response, what was it?
What did they have?
This is a no judgment zone?
This is a no judgment zone. You can't judge me. So he peeled his clothes off when he walked in, strutted around, and started yoga on the mat.
Do we think that this was a kind of a marketing thing gone?
I don't know what he's marketing, but
well, not for them, but for Planet Fitness.
That's a good question. But why would a person do that? People just do so many bizarre things today. Was he high? Was there an issue? Was there a mental issue? You know, the good thing is he didn't go into Planet Fitness with a gun and shoot somebody.
Well,
at least he went in and not discreetly, but decided to take his uniform off, so to speak, and do yoga.
All right, more power to him. I remember at the old YMCA, I went in there one day and I used to run around the track up top.
Wasn't that great?
23 laps to a mile.
Yep.
And I was running around and I smelled cigarette smoke. Well, here's this guy down in the middle of the gym doing his yoga and smoking cigarettes. Someone finally suggested that he not do that anymore, which was a great thing. But
you spent a lot of time at the old Y.
I did.
That's where I started my track career.
All right.
And loved to run in that place. Couldn't breathe.
Oh, yeah.
But it was just like, it was banked, the centrifugal force.
Yeah.
You kept your speed up, the centrifugal force kept you up against a wall. It was great to run.
Coming up next week, we'll talk all about Ron's track career. Actually, no, we won't. But actually, coming up next, we'll talk about state employees in Maryland, many of which apparently who don't get performance evaluations. We'll be back in 3 minutes with that report. Stay with us.